I'm DJ Palindromeda, and this is the live show. I'm so happy to be joined in the studio today by Boyish, Claire and India, two really fabulous musicians. This is Boyish. Go for it.
You're a superstar. Loves a girl who plays bass, that's cool, but I wish I was in a place. Go ahead and give me nothing. You're a superstar. I might drown in the way that I feel, but I guess I'm just a fan. And sometimes I forget you're real, and I know I'm too sincere, but I give my all. I gave my all. I want to be alone, but if I didn't, I wanna be with you. I want to be alone, but if I didn't, I wanna be with you. You're a superstar. Dream about you when I'm biking down the 5 a couple hours past midnight. And I hate that you don't know me. And sometimes I forget you're real, and I know I'm too sincere, but I give my all. I gave my all. I want to be alone, but if I didn't, I wanna be with you. I want to be alone, but if I didn't, I wanna be with you. And I miss you on the weekends. I pick you over my friends. Getting dizzy in my headset. I swear I'll say the wrong thing. And I miss you on the weekends. I pick you over my best friend. Getting dizzy in my headset. I swear I'll say the wrong thing.
You met in college, right?
We
Yes,
did,
yeah.
yes.
And where was that? Tell us how you got there. Majors.
That was
The whole thing.
that was at Berklee College of Music in Boston. We met, I feel like we met basically because I needed a guitar player for this storyteller showcase. And it was like within the first 2 weeks of freshman year of school, and I like knew not one person. And my roommate happened to know Claire, so we like met up in a practice room, and I was like, hey, I have like a couple songs, like if you want to play guitar. We did that, and then we auditioned. We didn't get the audition, and then we like stopped talking for a bit. And then, like, every couple weeks, we'd meet up to play songs and then not talk to each other, like, just refuse to be friends
We're like,
for a
this
while.
is strictly business.
We're, like, not going to be friends. And we started writing a bunch of country songs together. And we eventually formed a band called The Blue, which we did for, like, all of college.
Yeah.
And then after college, we're like, maybe it might be time to not be a country band anymore. Yeah, do a full rebrand and be Boyish instead.
Yeah.
Cool. And so, were you a guitar major?
I went in as a guitar principal, but I actually studied, it's a program called Contemporary Writing and Production.
Okay.
And it kind of sets you up for like writing music for advertisement in a way. Or like short films.
Yeah.
It kind of gave you like, it was a well-rounded major, because I think I was really torn between whether I wanted to write or if I wanted to produce or play guitar. And someone gave me a lot of advice. I was like, choose something that you can't learn anywhere else. And so I ended up kind of looking into production a lot, and liked that this had a nice balance of writing, producing. So I got to be in the studios and all that stuff. I was really happy with that major.
Yeah, I went in wanting to do a performance major, and then like about 2 years in, realized sort of like what Claire was saying, that you shouldn't pick something at Berkeley that you could do anywhere. And I feel like the performance classes just weren't really hitting for me. I was like, maybe this isn't right. So I switched to a major called, it's basically a major where you can combine 3 focuses. So I did composition, music business, and performance. So I got to study like writing for strings and arranging for orchestras, and then also like learn how to do taxes and like get over some stage fright, and then also
get over some stage fright.
Just do it all at once.
This is stage fright 101.
If I went back again, I think I would do a different major. I'd probably do one of the like electronic production majors where EPD it's called, where you can learn about like modular synthesis or something like just really crazy, because I feel like I got like a bit of everything, but I feel like the most valuable thing I got out of Berkeley was like meeting Claire.
Aww. I'm like, actually, I really liked mine. Now that
you're like, well, I feel like the facilities at Berkeley were
it was the facilities.
We're burning July for the girls, pouring time straight down our throats. And I know you tried to love me, but I know that we're not together. But I found my dear girl's arms. We're burning July for the girls, pouring time straight down our throats. And I know you tried to love me, but I know that we're not together. But I found my dear girl's arms, 'cause all that you want is all that you found, and all that you are is all that you found. Baby, baby, ooh, babe, I'm not your darling. Baby, baby, ooh, babe, I'm not your darling. So if it's July for the girls, pouring time straight down our throats. And I know you tried to love me, but I know that we're not together. But I found my dear girl's arms is all that you want, is all that you found, and all that you are is all that you found. Baby, baby, ooh, babe, I'm not your darling. Baby, baby, ooh, babe, I'm not your darling. Baby, baby, ooh, babe, I'm not your darling now. Baby, baby, ooh, babe, I'm not your darling now.
It's been 3 years, most of which has been in COVID, that you've
Yeah. Wow.
been Boyish.
That's a
And
really good point.
you've done like multiple albums, multiple EPs, you've gone on tour, like that's a lot. Like how has that been? Because it's only 3 years is not very long.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's funny because it feels like it's been like 20.
yeah.
When you put it that way, when it's only been 3 years, that like actually really blows my mind, because I feel like we've been the Blue for so long, and then
we've been making music together for what feels like a really long time, just not as Boyish, but it feels awesome. We wrote most of our new music during the pandemic, and I feel like it was a really good opportunity for us to sort of figure out how to be better producers and better songwriters, because we just had all this time and we couldn't play shows, and that was like
the shift for us in
Yeah.
that time. And I think it forced us to slow down for the first time in our lives, because we were like, go, and we weren't really thinking through like what we were doing. And Garden Spider was fun for that reason, where it's like, new project, let's see what happens. And
like
then
our first time using electronic drums in a song ever, we were like, okay, let's see if we could do that.
And then when we got shut down in March, it just like took the rug out from under us. And oh God, I remember being like devastated, being like, now what are we gonna do? But it honestly turned out to be the best thing possible for us, because we were like, okay, we got 4 months to write, and there was no point in releasing anything because we weren't gonna be able to like tour it. So I was like, okay, it feels like we have endless time to just sit here and make something. And it turned out really well for us, at least.
Yeah, and we'd never really toured before, like last year too. Before May was our first like official tour, and so we just finished our second ever tour. So it's all pretty new, and it's still really exciting. And I love touring. It's one of my favorite part of this. I feel like.
So cool. Do you feel like some of that like genre shift that came because you were like being called like whatever alt country, which is like interesting because that's not what I would think of you as now, but like do you feel like that came from the slowdown of the pandemic, or do you feel like it was just like an organic like maturation into a more indie pop instead of country?
Yeah, I think we always wanted to be indie pop.
Okay.
And how we ended up making so much country music is really interesting.
I think I love like country songwriting, and I think you do too. It's like the really best songwriting is all country music. So I think we both were like, well, I guess that's the clear winner for what we should do.
In a way, it was like easier to make country music.
Yeah.
And then to like try to actually, at least for us, like produce an indie pop track. We're like,
had no idea.
It sounds really bad.
We're like, this is not good. So I feel like we definitely started that with Garden Spider, like figuring out how do you produce an indie pop record, or how do you like program drums, what's a synth, just very basic stuff. And then I feel like the full sort of development of like us figuring out what we were actually doing was during the pandemic for sure.
should come with me. Wishing you came with me. Take me to the airport, call me from the platform, beg you to come with me. You don't leave the city. 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 You don't leave the city.
We're chipping away at a new EP. We're in the writing stages right now. And then let's see. Oh, we go to New York for a show December 2nd at Brooklyn Made, which will be really fun to go back out.
And Wallace is
back out east.
headlining. Yeah. Wallace's dog is with us today. Very exciting. And then we're playing a new festival called Zona Festival in Arizona on December 4th. So that'll be really exciting. Oh yeah, and we have a show on, oh God, what is it? It's November 2nd, and part of the proceeds go to the Trevor Project, and it's going to be a great time. Yeah, you should definitely come through. There's more information about that online. Yeah, we're writing, and I feel like that's it for the first time ever. We're going to try to work with other producers and collaborate, and we're meeting people out here, so that's been really exciting too. Yeah.
The two questions that we wrap with are do you have a favorite live show that you've ever played, and then favorite live show you've ever attended?
Ooh.
Whoa, that's such a good question.
You start.
Okay, mine. I think we'll probably have the same one. We did a showcase at South by Southwest. It was probably the most surreal day of my life, but it was on the bill. It was us, Claude, Muna, and Japanese Breakfast, and we were all in. Yeah, it was I was like, what are we doing here? How did this happen? And so we were all in one green room together, which was just very overwhelming. I was Claire and I were both sitting there just wide-eyed for a while, and we got to watch Claude perform, and then Japanese Breakfast did a DJ set, and so we were right by the table. She was at fist pumping in her face, unfortunately.
Sandstorm.
Yeah. Yeah, it was amazing.
We're what?
And then Muna performed, and they're just insane. Recorded obviously, but live it's the craziest experience. I was crying. They probably thought I was a little crazy. I was weeping in the audience. So I would say that was my favorite show that we've played, just for the experience.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a different show to be original now. I feel off of this last tour there were a bunch I really, really loved. I really enjoyed the LA show on this last tour.
Yeah, the Roxy.
Even though it was maybe one of the hottest places I've ever been, temperature wise, it was really hot in there.
At the Roxy.
Yeah.
I've only ever had insanely sweaty experiences.
I think the AC was broken.
The AC was broken.
It makes it.
But it felt really just authentic.
I think
it felt really rock and roll.
Interior temperature was 105 degrees at one point.
I don't do well with heat either, and I was so I'm either gonna pass out or I don't know. I was sweating so bad. I was in a tank top, and my arm on my guitar, my right arm that was resting on it, kept slipping off because it was just I was soaked. I was soaking wet. But I loved that show. That was really fun.
A great show.
And I really loved our show in Nashville. We had to reschedule to a house show that was run by a bunch of they were students, right?
Students, yeah.
I was did I make that up? But it was awesome, and I love doing house
Sigler
shows.
House. Yeah, they're amazing. If you're looking for a place to play shows in Nashville, they're so incredible.
They're so incredible.
They're so incredible. Yeah, they're really professional, and honestly one of the best run shows I've ever played. They're amazing. Yeah,
they were great.
So definitely look them up because they're amazing. And yeah,
best live show you've seen?
Whoa. Okay, this is hard. I feel we saw Brandi Carlile very recently. We saw her in Minneapolis, which was it was her second biggest show she's ever played. It was I've never heard anyone sound like that live. Like, her voice is...
She was so good.
It was crazy.
We left that one, we're like, well, let's just stop now while we can.
Like, I don't know how you're doing that. So I feel like that was definitely one of my favorite shows. And I feel like I saw... when I was younger, I saw Lady Gaga on her like Monster Ball tour, and that is really up there for me. And then I'm seeing the 1975 in New York like in November, so I feel like that might. I hope it. I feel like it will. Yeah.
I think. Well, Brandy was gonna be what I was gonna say.
Sorry.
Loved Brandy. I also saw Mitski this summer at Surly Brewing in Minneapolis. And that show was amazing. I had this moment where she was singing First Love, Late Spring. And this storm had like just blown through, and there was literally a rainbow behind the stage. And she's doing this like skipping, jumping, and like waving her hands to the audience. I was like, this is the most magical. And I had never really listened to Mitski before that. I was obsessed. Like, I'm still obsessed. I'm still like, every time I get in the car, I'm like, you know what I'm going to play, and everyone's mad at me. But it's
Claire's
perfect.
having I feel like everyone started listening to Mitski like years ago.
2014.
And like, I was like so gripped by her, and like I still am, but Claire's having like the full like experience right now.
It's so good.
It's never too late.
No.
Congratulations, you messed it up and